It all started one humid afternoon in Miami when Leora Maddox, rushed into my hotel suite, heart pounding, dragging my suitcase behind me like it was full of bricks. After hours of travel delays and taxi drama, I wanted nothing more than a long bath and peace. No calls, no drama, no surprises. But of course, the universe had different plans for me. Or rather, Kaylin Rhodes did. Kaylin and I had history. Not the simple kind. We met in high school. He was the boy who turned detentions into comedy shows, and I was the girl who organized the student council and tried too hard not to smile at his jokes. We weren't exactly friends then, more like accidental acquaintances who shared glances across classrooms and traded sarcasm in the hallway. After graduation, life pulled us in opposite directions. I stayed in New York, diving headfirst into a career in creative branding. He moved to LA, chasing tech startups and big dreams. And for a long time, that was it. Random likes on social media. A birthday message every now and then. Until fate played its hand last fall. We ran into each other at an industry event in San Francisco. He recognized me first. I almost walked right past him. We ended up talking the whole night. And again the next day. One spontaneous lunch turned into 3 secret trips, and suddenly, Kaylin and I were something. It didn't have a label, but it felt like everything I didn't know I was missing. Now, as I stood in the plush hallway of the Aurelius Hotel, barefoot and confused, I noticed something strange. A line of soft pink petals trailed through my doorway, the sound of soft acoustic guitar floating in the air. My brows furrowed. My room had never looked this romantic. Sitting on the neatly made bed was a folded note written in Kaylin's signature scrawl, "Follow the petals. Don't panic." My heart skipped. Was this one of his elaborate pranks? A sentimental gesture? I slipped off my jacket and followed the petals down the hall, stomach twisting in a cocktail of anticipation and disbelief. Down the corridor, Kaylin stood hidden behind a velvet curtain in a private ballroom suite, nervously mouthing his lines. He'd practiced them all week, scrapped half, rewritten the rest. Jordan, his best friend, was helping with the camera crew, giving him silent encouragement. Kaylin had never looked more serious in his life. He wasn't just planning to propose, he was declaring that this time, he wouldn't let me go. I turned the corner and stepped into a softly lit room that stole my breath. The chandelier sparkled. Dozens of flowers framed the space like a fairy tale. The music grew louder, and there he was, Kaylin Rhodes, standing in a pale blue shirt, hands behind his back, eyes locking on mine like I was the only person in the universe. He walked forward, dropped to one knee, and pulled out the velvet box. It almost felt like slow motion. His voice, strong but trembling, filled the room. "Leora Maddox," he said, "we've known each other for what feels like a lifetime. You've seen me be reckless, sarcastic, even a little stupid, but you never stopped believing in me. I don't want to be the guy who calls you from a different coast anymore. I want to wake up next to you. I want you to yell at me for stealing the blankets. I want it all, with you. Will you marry me?" The room fell silent. I couldn't even breathe. I think I laughed first, then cried. My hands shook. And before I could stop myself, I dropped to my knees with him, threw my arms around his neck, and whispered, "Yes. Yes, yes, yes." The hidden crew cheered quietly from behind the curtains. Jordan gave a thumbs up. Kaylin slid the ring on my finger. It shimmered like a secret I was finally allowed to share. He stood, lifted me into a slow spin, and kissed my forehead. I melted into him, the world blurry and beautiful all at once. We danced beneath the chandelier, our movements gentle, connected, electric. Everything that had felt uncertain before suddenly made sense. It was him. It had always been him. Hours later, we sat in the suite's private lounge sipping champagne, our legs tangled on the velvet couch. I kept staring at my hand. The ring didn't even feel real. "What made you do this now?" I asked, brushing a lock of hair from his brow. He looked into me, deeply, like he always did when he was about to be vulnerable. "Because I realized love like this doesn't happen twice. And I've never been so sure of anything in my life." That night, as we watched the skyline light up through the floor-to-ceiling windows, I rested my head on his chest and listened to his heartbeat. Steady, strong. Mine. We talked for hours, about where we'd live, who we'd invite to the wedding, whether we'd get a dog before or after kids. He teased me for crying. I teased him for almost fainting when I said yes. And in the quiet between our laughter, I knew, this man had gone from my past to my future without warning. I'll never forget how that night felt. Not just because of the proposal, but because for the first time in my life, I let someone see every piece of me, and he didn't flinch. He held it, all of it, and said, "This is exactly what I want." From that moment on, Kalen wasn't just the guy from my memories. He was my beginning, my middle, and whatever came next. And no matter what life threw at us, I knew we'd face it the same way we always had, hand in hand, heart wide open, and one unforgettable surprise at a time.